JJ Redick getting ripped today, and rightfully so. He plays all 5 starters the entire second half in game 4, and then before game 5, he storms away from the podium after getting asked about it. I didn't love the way the question was framed, but there's no reason for him to talk in such a condescending manner in the way he did when all he had to say was, I'm like, lessons are learned. We're going to reevaluate, give a Belichick type of answer, like just very dry. We're going to reevaluate things and do better this game. Right.
It's and KOC, do you listen when you watch these games? Do you have the sound on?
Yes, sometimes.
Okay,
sometimes.
Depends on the broadcast. I sometimes do. I sometimes don't. So the reason I'm mentioning it is, the sideline reporter. It was Ali LaForce. I don't want to get it. I hate when I get that wrong. But whomever it was did something I've never seen a sideline reporter do, which is kind of give a take mid-game, which was, the reason it must have been so noteworthy that she didn't feel like she was giving a take. It was just like her reporting. But it was reporting on JJ's disposition before the game, which was, she was like, he was wound up. He was on edge. He was super tight. And here is what I believe about JJ Redick. I think that he did an excellent job this year. I think objectively. I was saying that if someone had included him on their Coach of the Year ballot, he deserved it. I thought he was a massive, exponential upgrade on Darvin Ham. And I think he's going to be a very good coach. With all that said, when he got hired, I said my concern was that I think when he hits a rough patch, his general smug, condescending nature, that I am just basing that off of who he's been the entirety of his public life, so 20 plus years, I think that could go poorly. And I think he's super online and very aware of what people are saying. And I think those are two things that could be tough parts of being an NBA head coach, much less coach of the Lakers. I'm going to add another concern, even though I think he's a very good coach. And this is something I said it on my pod earlier. I'm going to say it on TV. I'll say it to you. People are going to clip this and people are going to make fun of this take. They are going to say this is a ridiculous thing to say. I just believe it in my bones. We now have a 20-plus year history of JJ Redick being wound so tight, he doesn't perform in the biggest spots. JJ Redick, as one of the best college basketball players of his era, was a bad NCAA tournament player. He was great in every other setting. Go check those Duke game logs and go check what those teams did and what he did in the NCAA tournament. JJ Redick, as Jerry West reminded us, was not a great playoff performer in the NBA, even for his role. And now in his first shot in the playoffs, he, I think, made a big mistake and didn't want to really take full accountability for it. I think you can overcome it. And I think it's easier to overcome as a coach than it is as a player, because it's more just about mindset and you don't have to actually, make shots. But I think he is wound so tight that he might not be the best pressure performer. And I think you saw some of that manifest itself even last night when he boxed himself in before the game by saying Jackson Hayes isn't playing. And then all of a sudden it's like, all right, I guess I'm pressing the Maxi Kleba button here, which is
hadn't
tough
played in 3 months at all for the Lakers or practiced.
Exactly right.
Barely exactly either. Right. Crazy.
Yep. Exactly right.
I don't think that take is crazy, Nick, because I had the same exact thought. He has always been an underperformer in the postseason. And, maybe that was in part smaller guy, only 6'4" or so. Sometimes it's different in the postseason. But then you're right. The NCAA stats for him when Duke got eliminated when he was a freshman, 4 of 14 from the floor. He was 5 of 17 in the round of 32, way back his freshman year. His sophomore year, his last year at Duke, 3 for 18 in their elimination game in the Sweet 16. So it goes back to college. It happened in the NBA. And then it happens in the first round here after that pregame presser where clearly the dude is wound so tight. And clearly, and also clearly the fact he brought up unprompted, is this about me being inexperienced?
Yes.
The reporter never said anything about that. JJ brought that up.
And I didn't think the reporter, I don't know who the reporter was. I couldn't pinpoint the voice. But it didn't sound like the reporter was trying to be antagonistic. It did sound like anyone that's ever had that job, the open press conference question, I think people have experienced it's my turn to ask the question. I know what I want to ask. I'm a little nervous about how I'm phrasing it. So I might talk a little too long or stumble over, so it felt to me like the reporter was a little nervous himself, but not trying to be antagonistic. It did not seem like the reporter was like, hey, so you screwed that up because you're young and dumb, or you're going to do that again. That's not what it felt like at all.
I totally agree.
JJ took it like the guy was being either unfair or rude or disrespectful, and just listening to it, that's not what it sounded like to me. It sounded like a guy who was trying to basically be like, hey, are you going to lean on some of your assistants, because you're in the heat of the moment? And JJ, Doth protest too much a bit about that, I thought.